A Dodrio team was able to get top 8 in one of Japan's biggest grassroots online tournaments, and we're going to be trying out a recreation of it and seeing how well it can perform. This is a crazy team that features Orthworm, Torterra, and Dodrio that was able to do really well and get top 8 at the Tera Square, one of Japan's online grassroots tournaments. Now, I did plan to originally use this team, and then I saw Moxie actually use a recreation of the team, and I'm like, oh, there's a recreation of the team. I'm just going to use it and see how well it can perform, because it's got crazy builds, and I don't even really know where to start. And I think it's going to be pretty hard to break down this team individually, because even I don't know like what the main concept of each of the Pokemon or what the main reasoning is of all of these picks. But I will break it down, and I think I have a good general overall understanding of the team. So we have a lot of setup Pokemon, with the Volcarona being one of the strongest setup mons with the Quiver Dance and the Charcoal, having access to really strong fire type attacks, as well as Terra Blast with Terra Fairy, which is really good, makes it immune to Skill Shot Dragonite, but also having that fairy coverage is just really nice because there's very little fairy coverage in the format with no Flutter Mane, so having a really strong option for a very powerful fairy type attack is very much appreciated. We also have setup mons such as the Dodrio, and Dodrio, I'm still not sure exactly why it's an interesting pick. It doesn't exactly have the best abilities out there, so we're running Early Bird because you do have a chance if the Dodrio goes to sleep, hey, it can wake up early and not take a full 3 turns of sleep, which is impossible, which is at least something. At least something. It has pretty fast speed, okay attack, its defenses are pretty poor, but overall it's pretty interesting as a Pokemon because of the normal typing with its flying coverage, and it's good against, I guess, Annihilate because you can threaten and outspeed before I can go for bulk up, and Brave Bird does do a ton of damage. Swords Dance is pretty nice for a +2 attack, so it allows Life Orb Dodrio to actually do a lot of damage. And then Brave Bird, really strong flying option. There's a lot of Pokemon in the format that are just weak to that flying coverage, so having a really strong way to be able to one-shot like a Moongus, Rillaboom, the fighting types out there, just a really good move. And then we have the Drill Run as well for the ground coverage, which is very much appreciated. Next, we have the Torterra with the Overgrow set. Normally when we saw Torterra is actually running the Shell Armor set, and that was in an Urshifu format, but because there aren't many ways to guarantee a critical hit unless you're running Meowscarada, and that's still a rare Pokemon, you run the Overgrow because you could get the powerful Wood Hammer if you are weakened enough, and that is with this White Orb Torterra with the Terra Ghost to help out against Sneasler, as well as Fake Out Mons as well. Prevents extreme speed from cleaning up the Torterra if it has taken damage to set up, and go for very strong Wood Hammers and Earthquakes. And really the Shell Smash, especially behind a Shed Tail substitute, can be a very big threat, and then those Earthquakes can pair well with the Orthworm to heal it with the Earth Eater and get another potential Shed Tail, or just be able to go for Iron Defense while healing, make your Orthworm a pretty big threat. Next, we have the Orthworm, which is also the other setup mon on this team, and it has a few ways of setting up, which is the Shed Tail, which is you could Shed Tail out into one of your other sweepers, like the Dodrio, Torterra, or Volcarona, but also with the Iron Defense Body Press set, which is really nice. Earth Eater, just an incredible ability because it makes it immune to the ground type attacks, but also heal from those ground type moves. So very much appreciated. It can be paired very nicely with the Earthquake from the Torterra, especially if it's able to get a Shell Smash after Orthworm has taken a bit of damage from going for the Shed Tail to get into that Torterra. And it's just a really strong option. The Terra Electric's really nice because of the resistance to Electroshot, but also just helps out because it is a way to resist other steel moves, get rid of those weaknesses that Orthworm has on the fire and fighting side, but also like its only weakness is ground technically for an electric type, and since you're immune to ground type moves, just a perfect Terra type for Orthworm in general. Finally, we have a Clefable with the Unaware ability that's able to help out a bit against Dondozo because that Pokemon can be a bit troublesome and can do a bit of damage with that Moonblast, a Covert Cloak that just prevents it from getting hit by the Dire Claws from the Sneasler, which is very nice. Terra Water, just a great defensive typing against the Steel type moves, especially Heavy Slam Dondozo picking up, as well as Life Dew to heal the team, and Follow Me for that redirection, which is very important for these setup Pokemon. And finally, the Tyranitar with the Sandstream, and that Sandstream is important against the rain teams out there, as well as weather teams in general. This team doesn't appreciate sun or rain, so having Sandstream is able to help out because Tyranitar is a good Pokemon into sun teams in general, with the ability to just hit the Torkoals really hard with the Rock Slide, as well as like Charizard can hit the rain Pokemon such as the Pelipper and Basculegion with a very powerful knockoff, but mainly just being able to prevent like Weather Ball from Pelipper, Weather Ball from Torkoal. So they're rock type moves, so they can't really hit the Torterra or the Orthworm with Weather Ball. But also just makes it so your opponent can't go for Electro Shot with Arcaludon. Also helps against Size Spam teams in general. So Tyranitar is just a good Pokemon against Size Spam Trick Room, which this team does appreciate. So having a nice role in a Pokemon that's just able to help out all of those obscure matchups. Overall, a lot of this team is just setting up with the Torterra or Volcarona. Really, you're just trying to set up using the Orthworm Shed Tail and set up a Torterra or Volcarona sweep, while the Dodrio and Tyranitar are really just able to do a lot of damage at the start of the game or could clean up in the end. If you'd like to check out the details of the team, the original creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. All right, we have Tatsugiri, Armarouge, Indeedee, Gallade, Ninetales Alolan form, and Dondozo. What is the Dondozo answer? I guess it's Unaware Clefable, maybe? This is not gonna be that fun. All right, how do I want to approach this? Because this is gonna be very, very tricky. Very tricky. Are they bring the Alolan Ninetales is the question? Because I think you always bring Dondozo Tatsugiri unless there's like something you're really, really terrified of. The Dodrio, I don't even think it's good here, man. I think Orthworm is probably okay. I gotta make sure I have a good answer to the Armarouge. Torterra is probably fine. I do think it's Volcarona for the Quiver Dance stuff. I think Quiver Dance is pretty good against my opponent's team. I do want to bring Volcarona. Let's see, Volcarona plus Clefable, maybe? It's not a bad lead. There isn't really too many responses to like a Volcarona lead right off the bat. They also like, they can't really bring Size Spam because Tyranitar does make it really hard for them. I think I'm going to bring Orthworm and Torterra in the back. Let's just see how this goes, because this is going to be such a weird game. And I mean, such a weird game. Because I don't know what to do against Dondozo. I don't know what to do against Dondozo. So my plan and idea is use the Unaware Clef. I have to make sure the Clef is healthy. But they don't exactly have the best answers to Volcarona without the Clefable. So if I can force maybe the Dondozo to come in early, I can start going into town, do as much damage as I possibly can. Hopefully break through the Dondozo mode quickly without losing too many resources. And then in the back, Volcarona could maybe sweep, but we'll see. The late Tatsugiri is such an interesting lead. Okay. Versus Clefable and Volcarona. I will live one Muddy Water. I could go for Tera Fairy, Tera Blast into Tatsugiri turn 1. Try to pick up that knockout into the Tatsugiri, and that would be pretty nice. I think I'd probably just go for a Quiver Dance immediately and go for a Protect with the Clefable. Let's see what's going to happen. I don't know if you stay in with Tatsugiri, because if you lose Tatsugiri turn 1, I think it's really bad if I just like Protect Moonblast, which I think is something you should fear. Let's see. I am going to go for the Protect with Clefable, as we are going to see a Muddy Water just come out from the Tatsugiri. They actually risked it. Okay. As it does hit my Volcarona, does do a pretty decent chunk of damage to it, as we do get the Quiver Dance up at least. Okay. All right, we have the special attack, special defense, and the speed rise. Let's see what they decide with the Psycho Cut. It's going to be in a Clefable because they want to get rid of the Unaware Mon for Dondozo. Are you a Scarf on the Tatsugiri or what? Let's see. With the Volcarona, we have a bit of speed. I don't know if we're going to be able to outspeed the Tatsugiri. I could go for the Tera Blast immediately, which isn't an awful decision. I could go for it into the Tatsugiri. I think I will go for it into Tatsugiri. I'm going to go for Tera Blast and Tatsugiri, and I think I'm going to go for a Life Dew and try to get recovery back if possible. Because if we get rid of Tatsugiri, we're in an incredible spot, right? Tatsugiri going to retreat. Okay, this might not be good if they went for the Psycho Cut, because I kind of want to greed this. We're going to see the Armarouge come in. Yeah, that is really not good. Unless Gallade protects, and if it has protects, then it's fine. But yeah, this could have been a attack into the Gallade and maybe just went for a Life Dew, and this would have been a really good spot. Unless they Terra, unless they have like Terra Fire. Oh, they didn't Terra. Oh, I really was hoping to catch maybe that Tatsugiri, but we will see the Terra Blast into armor, which is actually not terrible damage. We do see Sacred Sword actually coming out in Gallade, which is actually pretty ideal. I'll take that because I get a free life dew with my Clefable, and we are able to heal back our HP. Is there no Indity back? It's either Indity or Dondozo, right? Like, it has to be one of them, I'd assume. Okay. They overread a lot here, and that's very good for me. I'm gonna go for a Terra Blast, and I think I'm just gonna go for a Life Dew again, because Gain Recovery is nice. I could double Protect, but I don't think they can actually pick up a knockout into my Clefable, unless they go out into Indity and click like a Psychic type attack. But if that's the case, that means that there is no Dondozo, so Clefable's value drops a lot if there is none of that. So let's see what we can do. I will go for the Life Dew. I will go for the Terra Blast into the Gallade. Let's see if there is a Terra on Gallade here, but we're going to see the Armored Retreat. Okay. We also might live Psycho Cut too. Dondozo actually comes out. All right. Is this the Tatsugiri as well? Okay, they double switch into Tatsugiri. This is actually pretty good for me. They bring out the Tatsugiri, but now I also have the Life Dew, so I actually gain more recovery here, which is really good. And the only way I think Dondozo can knock out Clefable is through Heavy Slam, and I think they would have to Terra Steel to pick up that knockout. So you know what? Even though I have made a lot of mistakes here, I could have maybe even won the game off turn 1 if I doubled into Tatsugiri. I will gladly take this turn, as we will get a Life Dew back, and basically we are back to full HP with our Clefable, which does have the Unaware ability, and Volcarona pretty dang healthy. We will take it. And now the Dondozo's trapped in. Funny how like stuff works like this, because we can double protect. I want to scout for the Terra, because if they Terra into Steel, I want to go for the Heat Wave into the Dondozo with the Volcarona and probably just click Follow Me, because I wouldn't want Volcarona to go down here. If they are forced to Terra to Steel, it's actually really good, because I also have Torterra that can do a lot of damage as well. We are going to see the Terra come out. It is going to be the Terra on the Dondozo. It is going to be into that Terra Steel. Yep. I didn't want to go for Terra Blast turn 1 because I want to scout for this Terra, and very, very nice. Very nice. So we will go for the Protect with the Volcarona, as we will go for a Protect with our Clefable. And now they are going to Heavy Slam. Yep, Heavy Slam is going to go out into the Clefable because it does have Unaware, which I think should probably just knock out Clefable realistically. But Heat Wave is going to do a lot of damage to that Dondozo, and we will go for that Follow Me with the Clefable. I can't really risk Heavy Slam going out in Volcarona, although they might not want to go for that to risk the Flame Body. So we'll go for the Heat Wave. Landing on the Dondozo is all we need. Oh, come on. Come on, game. That's such a bad miss. Heavy Slam in the Clefable. Actually doesn't pick up the knockout, huh? Okay. Well, I mean, we're going to go for a Heat Wave, and we're going to go for Follow Me. I'm just hoping that Heat Wave is a 2-shot at this point. They might go for Earthquake, but there's not much I can do, right? I could go out into, I guess, my Orthworm if I really want to, but I think Clefable's job is basically done here. We get the Heat Wave off into Dondozo. Pretty good damage in Dondozo, but yeah, nowhere near as much as I wanted. We are going to see the Heavy Slam come out into the Clefable, so Clefable does go down. Granted, I think this is not a terrible position. Oh, it's also not leftovers onto Dondozo. We are going to go out into our Orthworm here. Now, they have two options. They can go for Protect with Dondozo, or expecting my Volcarona to Protect on a Body Press so I can Heat Wave KO the Dondozo, or they could go for a Heavy Slam into Volcarona. I think the play that covers both of that is going for the Shed Tail with Orthworm, because getting Torterra in for free means I could maybe wrap this game up with a Shell Smash endgame, and that's what I want to try to do. So I think that's the plan I'm going to try to enact here. Let's see if it's worth it or not. I am hoping, I mean, either way, this is fine if they Protect, if they go for a Heavy Slam. Like, if they go for a Wave Crash, they take the recoil to be put in Heat Wave range anyway, and Orthworm should survive one Wave Crash, so I think I'm okay there. They do go for the Heavy Slam into the Volcarona. Perfect, as we are able to get the Shed Tail off, and we can get our Torterra setup. And I think Torterra setup is going to be in a really, really good spot, so we'll gladly take this. Orthworm will go away to bring the substitute in for my Torterra, and I actually cannot believe this is going to work. So we bring out the Torterra. We have the White Herb, although it's not really going to matter too much. It is going to help out here. I do want to land this Heat Wave Volcarona to put the Torterra in range of any of my attacks. And let me just double check. My Torterra will outspeed the Dondozo, I think. The Tatsugiri is a little bit weird, but I think we should be fine. We're going to go for the Heat Wave. We're going to go for Shell Smash with our Torterra. As Heat Wave, please connect on the Dondozo. Nice. Perfect. Because even though we're not affecting Dondozo with our stat boost, the important part is getting that Shell Smash set up. We are going to see that... Alright. Order up, so the substitute fades. But at this point, I don't know how they're breaking through the Torterra combined with the Volcarona. Shell Smash is enabled on my Torterra. So now we have a +2 Torterra that is threatening so much heavy damage right now. Like, it's crazy how much damage we're threatening here. Tera Blast should KO the Dondozo at this range. The speed order should be, let me see, we are at 210 with Torterra, and the Volcarona is at 140. Actually, no, the speed order is Torterra first, right? And then Volcarona, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess we're just going to go for a Wood Hammer. I mean, we're probably going to still go for the same attacks anyway. So we're going to go for a Wood Hammer into the Dondozo as well as a Tera Blast. They're going to go for Protect. Could have went for a greedy... Actually, there was a chance that I could have set up again. Like, there was a potential world where I do go for another Shell Smash or Quiver Dance because the Tatsugiri can't do anything. But I will try to get the double knockout here, and I should be pretty acceptable. I think it's... should be a win here with Tera Blast plus Wood Hammer into Dondozo. So Wood Hammer gonna come out. Torterra is... oh wait, we aren't actually able to KO Dondozo because of the boost. But we are gonna be able to knock out Dondozo with Tera Blast at least. So I guess Tatsugiri is still around, which is fine. Dondozo goes down, but I just don't see what they have because they don't have a Tera anymore. So I'm pretty sure that I can just blow up the Armarouge and the... I wish I could blow up Armarouge and Delayed with Wood Hammer from Torterra. Delayed gonna come out probably for the Wide Guard. I'm just gonna go for a Tera Blast into the Tatsugiri, and I'm gonna go for the Wood Hammer into the Gallade. I think I'm okay. They go for Protect. Oh, they do have Protect with Gallade. Interesting. I wonder if they have Wide Guard then. Scarf on the Tatsugiri is fine, so we do see the Icy Wind, but the thing is that Icy Wind's just nowhere near enough for them to actually be able to outspeed me in the future parts of this game. We are going to go for the Wood Hammer into the Gallade. Doesn't really do too much, but more importantly, we are able to get that Tera Blast off into the Tatsugiri, and should pick up a knockout right here. Yep. Okay. So we're at neutral speed with the Volcarona, so we're at 139. The Torterra is still at +1 speed. We should outspeed everything. Armarouge going to come in. Pretty sure that Tera Blast knocks out the Gallade, and I don't know if we KO Armarouge with Wood Hammer. It's a little bit healthier than I remember, but I'm still going to go for it anyway. They go for the double, which makes sense. But let's just go for that Wood Hammer and the Tera Blast. We get the Wood Hammer off into Armarouge. Actually just cleans up the Armarouge, which is beautiful to see. So Armarouge goes down. Fantastic. As we do get a Tera Blast into the Gallade and somehow squeeze out a victory. Like, I'm shocked because I didn't think we were able to get to Dondozo early, and I felt like there were, like, obviously a few turns that I messed up, right? Like, I could have just lost my Volcarona on the spot, but thankfully... my opponent tried to overcommit, probably tried to expect maybe like a Tera Water on my Clefable immediately. They made a good switch into Armarouge, but because they were so focused on the Clefable, I was able to get really set up with that Volcarona. The fact that Dondozo came in was a bit strange for them because they had to break through the Clefable first, but that's exactly what I wanted. I was able to get like a pretty good position with the Force Terra Steel and then just be able to bring out my Shed Tail on the Orthworm, getting my Torterra, had 2 setup mons ready to go with the Dondozo weekend. It was pretty good, except maybe I could have Shell Smashed 1 extra time on that 1 turn, but you know what, we'll take it. Whimsicott, Sneasler, Dragonite, Arcalodon, Pelipper, and Milotic. All right, a rain team. Interesting. Wonder if I can use Dodrio here, which I definitely can. It's pretty fast. I do have quite a few things I gotta be fearful of. There is the very powerful rain stuff that they have here. I do have Tyranitar though, because the thing is with this team, if I get Tyranitar in a really good spot, they really can't do much to Orthworm. Like, they really struggle hitting Orthworm. I do have to watch out for Haze Milotic, which is actually a big fearful part, but otherwise, it doesn't seem too bad here. I like Orthworm a lot. Do I like Clefable is the question. Clefable's okay. I don't think I need it, though. I think I bring Orthworm. I want to bring Tyranitar for sure. Torterra and Dodrio. I think I'd probably lead to Dodrio then. Yeah, I would lead to Dodrio. Go Tyranitar in the back and the Torterra. The reason I want to lead to Dodrio is just because I want to have something that, like, Tyranitar is always a Pokemon in the back. I want to make sure that I have a Pokemon that can switch in here. And I think it makes the most sense to have Tyranitar as a potential Pokemon that can switch in. So, like, I don't think I want to lead Torterra and use my White Herb immediately, because I want to probably Shed Tail into it. Versus a Milotic plus the Whimsicott lead in. Okay. Versus Dodrio and Orthworm. I'll take it. I will just go for... I don't think I want a Swords Dance here. I think I just always Shed Tail out. And I think I just go for a Brave Bird into the Whimsicott. I don't know if they have Tailwind. They could have Taunt, which is acceptable. Getting rid of Whimsicott, because only one of the Pokemon can have Sash, right? It's either Pelipper or it's going to be Whimsicott. And Whimsicott, if it doesn't have Sash, like if it's a Covert Cloak, it's a really good position for me. So let's see what they decide to do here. Milotic, they're usually not offensive, so I don't think I can take a knockout here, even into Dodrio. At least before I get the Brave Bird off. We see a Tera come out immediately. This might be Whimsicott. If they are playing this defensive with the Whimsicott, it has to be not Focus Sash. Yeah. Tera Steel. All right, Tera Steel is active. That's fine. Interesting. Milotic protects, which is a crazy option here. Okay. As they go for Tailwind, this works out really well for me. Yeah, that works out extremely well. As I get the Brave Bird. That actually did a lot of damage to Whimsicott. What the heck? That still did like half. Okay. As we get the Shed Tail off, and we're going to go out into our Torterra, I guess. Yeah, they used Torterra, which is incredible for me. I get the Shed Tail out. I'm going out in a Torterra because there's no reason to ever go Tyranitar. I guess the question is, what do I want to lock into the next move? Tera Ghost is okay on Torterra. I don't think it's necessary. But you know what? I will go into Torterra. Did they take the knockout of Dodrio, or are they going to target down the Torterra? Because the Torterra, I think, is like a way bigger threat. And I mean a way bigger threat. I could Shell Smash. No, I don't want to Shell Smash, actually. Out of any play, it's either Tera Ghost, go for Woodhammer into Milotic, or it's go for a Protect. The reason I would protect Torterra is because then I would assume it's a Moonblast Ice move going into Torterra, and then I'd be able to get the KO into Whimsicott with a Drill Run. The reason I would go for the Tera Ghost here is because I'm worried about Dodrio getting targeted and losing it here, and then getting Encore the next turn because I didn't KO the Whimsicott. So let's go for a Drill Run, and let's go for a Tera Ghost Woodhammer. I think that this is the right play. Granted, like, I could still very easily lose this, but this play means I get a knockout no matter what. I think I always get a KO either into the Milotic, or I get a double knockout here, and then I win the Weather War, and then I'm in a really good spot. So I think that's always worth it here. All right. They go for the Moonblast. They target the Torterra, which should break my sub, especially with a critical hit, but I assume it's specially attack invested Whimsicott because it did not take my Brave Bird well. We will go for the... we do see the Ice Beam does go into Dodrio. Does this pick up a knockout? It does. Okay, so I still think the Woodhammer is correct here then. I could have protected Dodrio, but I really thought they would... Wow, it's offensive Milotic with Ice Beam. But not anticipating that. We do get the Woodhammer KO into Milo. All right. Not a terrible trade. Not a terrible trade. Granted, I could have had a lot of a better spot, but I don't think this is awful. I'm going to Orthworm again. Because if it's rain mode with our Caledon Pelipper in the back, I'm in a really good spot. If it's Sneasler plus Dragonite, it's a bit weird. I guess it just depends on who's being brought out. If it's Pelipper, I go into Tyranitar here and click Body Press. Orthworm comes in. It's healthy. Yeah, I'm just going to go out and Tyranitar and click Body Press into the Whimsicott. So I always win the Weather War. Granted, the game is not over yet. There are still things that concern me. The Arcalodon's actually still pretty concerning in the back. It can't switch out, which is nice. Orthworm should be able to wall the attacks here. Tyranitar might take a bunch of damage, but we'll see. They go for Taunt and Orthworm, so I can't Body Press, okay? And Hurricane. Oh, that's perfect then. Okay, that's a perfect turn. So I don't take any damage here, really. No confusion either. We are able to get the Body Press off into the Whimsicott, which does pick up the knockout. So that's a really nice knockout. Okay. So Whimsicott eliminated. I think all I need to do is position Torterra in a good spot against the Arcalodon, and I think I'm in a good spot because there's no electric. Oh, Sneasler's the last. Okay. Interesting. Sneasler gets a guaranteed close combat KO here, which is fine. Hurricane's going to be a bit scary to deal with. They should close combat my Tyranitar. I don't know if they double up. I don't have Heavy Slam on Orthworm, unfortunately, for damage. I can't really risk getting the call wrong here, I think. So I think I'd rather just click Rock Slide. I think I'd rather click Rock Slide, and I'd rather just go for a Body Press into the... Oh boy, this is weird, actually. Yeah, this is weird. Who did they close combat? I think it's Tyranitar, but they actually targeted the Orthworm, which is actually worth for me. Because, like, what I was fearful of is, like, okay, close combat Tyranitar because Orthworm can't do any damage, really, to you. And then you get a Hurricane or a Weather Ball into the Torterra slot, which is really bad for me. What this allows me to do, actually, is just get a Rock Slide off into Pelipper. So they're taking a lot of damage here with the Rock Slide. Yeah, that's a lot of damage into the Pelipper with Rock Slide, as I said. All right, we have the Sand affecting them too. I guess it's going to come down to a few factors. I always get Torterra in. It's not over because Weather Ball is going to be pretty tough to deal with. I mean, I always click Rock Slide with Tyranitar always. I guess I could knock off the Sneasler, actually. No, I could always knock out the Sneasler because knock out the Sneasler should KO the Sneasler, and the Tyranitar doesn't go down here for some reason. Then that means Sneasler goes down to the knockoff, and then Pelipper can't beat the Tyranitar by itself. The question is, what am I doing with you? Am I going for a Shell Smash or am I going for Wood Hammer? Because if I expect Tyranitar to go down, I go for Earthquake. I think I Shell Smash. Let's see if I'm right. They go for the Throat Chop. Okay, so Torterra's able to survive the turn. Beautiful. They doubled up my Torterra. So I should lose Torterra here, but I'm pretty sure what happens is knockoff should KO the Sneasler because it's a single target knockoff here. If it doesn't with the Sand, it definitely should, I think. And then I should be able to beat the Pelipper 1v1. Yeah, perfect. Okay. All right, so I did have the... I think what happens if Pelipper... Okay, let's say if close combat happens, did 2 Sand turns knock out Pelipper? I think it's really close. I think that's actually hard to say, but that's what I was going to go for if they close combat Tyranitar and went for a Weather Ball there. About going to be forfeited. Okay, beautiful. Wasn't expecting Sneasler as the last, which actually made it a bit weird. And offensive Milotic, I guess, because like offensive Milotic, like what? That's a mon, but I'll definitely take it. I was able to get it in a pretty decent position. The Tera that was forced turn 1 was absolutely incredible. The fact that they played defensive too, because I was able to get a free Shed Tail off, and that Shed Tail was incredible. It's actually funny because if it's Life or Milotic, a Pelipper switch would have been really awful for me. But I guess maybe like Brave Bird could have actually threatened the Milotic, because if they're not invested in the Milotic, it's taking a lot of damage from Brave Bird. So I guess that's why they want to protect the first turn and then go for a double up. But still shocked. Ursaluna, Blood Moon, Dragonite, Volcarona, Golden Go, Whimsicott, Annihilate. Oh, if I'm not mistaken, the Whimsicott, this should be Choice Specs Volcarona then. At least on these builds, I usually assume it's Choice Specs Volcarona, which is tough for me, actually. It is kind of tough for me. Orthworm is good into everything on their team, except I guess the Steel, except the Ghost, which is fair, and the Volcarona. Otherwise, like, it's pretty decent here. I want to bring Orthworm. I want to bring Torterra. Those two I definitely want to bring. Man, I want Volcarona, but the problem is if I don't bring the Tyranitar, then I just am getting destroyed by the Volcarona on their side. So I have to bring Tyranitar, I think. I think it's like Tyranitar. I think Orthworm's probably okay. I think it's Torterra, Dodrio on the back. Clefable I don't really like in this matchup because the redirection is way too slow on this fast-paced team. And then Volcarona, it's not bad. It's like really hard to set up, I think, against this. Like if I get Shed Tail off, maybe, but Haze D-Knight's pretty tough for that to happen. Like Torterra's at least consistent where like, okay, if I'm able to get rid of the Dry Knight earlier, Dry Knight's tough. Like Haze Dry Knight's actually pretty rough for like the build in general, just because of like when you can't bring Clefable, it's like really hard to stop. Golden Go Annihilate is an interesting lead versus Tyranitar and Orthworm. Okay. So we have quite a bit that could go wrong here. Granted, I'm just going to click. They can only Final Game at 1 and they can only Close Combat 1. I'm just going to knock off the Golden. I think I'm going to Shed Tail attempt. I think it might be Final Gambit Ape on this team. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Final Gambit Ape. So I'm just going to go for attacks because I can't really give the gold free opportunities to set up if it is set up. They go for Make It Rain immediately. Okay, I'm okay with that. Don't really take that much damage. That was a crit on Orthworm too. Jeez. Wait, does the crit matter if they're... Oh, taunt. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Is it? It's not ideal. I do get a knockoff into Golden. I do knock out the Golden Go one shot, so that's actually a pretty nice knockout immediately. The Annihilate taking sand damage, so unless it's Goggles. Let's see. Are you Goggles? It is Goggles Annihilate confirmed. Okay, good to find out. So Taunt Annihilate as Volcarona comes in. Interesting to see Volcarona come in, but I'll definitely take it. I go for the Terra Blast here. I go for it into the... I'd assume it's going to be the Volcarona. Unfortunately, the Orthworm's in a really weird spot. But I think what I'm going to do... Man, I wish I had Heavy Slam now, but I am going to go for Terra Blast. I'm going to go for Body Press plus Terra Blast. I'm going to go for the double up here into the Volcarona in case they Terra out of the situation. If they're Final Gambit, I am so screwed, by the way. If they Final Gambit my Tyranitar, it might happen. We'll find out together. They didn't Terra. I'm assuming Final Gambit's coming out, but let's see. Oh, they did Heat Wave. Orthworm dodges. Tyranitar takes extremely well. Oh, it's Life Orb Volcarona. Okay, they changed it. They did Final Gambit. Okay. But you know what? Even if... Okay, so the Heat Wave miss is big. I'm not going to deny that. But if it's not Quiver Dance, I'm okay with that. If it's not Quiver Dance, I'm okay with that. I did use my Terra, which kind of stinks there. But I did get damage into Volcarona with the Body Press. Oh, I am so hoping that Dodrio can clean this game up. It's Bear as the last. All right, mind game time. Mind game time. Bear's not fun to deal with here. I'm just... Well, it's not Life Orb on Bear, which makes this interesting. I'm going to Protect and I'm going to Body Press the Bear. If they go for Quiver Dance, they got me good. But like, let's see. I expect Terra from Bear probably. Yep. Oh, it's Terra Normal? I did not think it'd be Terra Normal here. Okay. So Ursaluna goes for the Terra Normal. I was expecting Volcarona to protect and just an attack here, but this works out. I was expecting like Ghost or something. Yeah, Volcarona protected. Beautiful. Did they Blood Moon my Orthworm? No shot. Yeah, it's Blood Moon into Dodrio. That's what I expected. Okay, really, really ideal there. Really good turn. Nice. So I got that read right. We're able to get Body Press off into the Ursaluna for some pretty massive damage. Like, that is some good damage. Okay. Now they're super low. Orthworm shakes up the taunt, which is super ideal. All right. So it does still get tricky here. I think my best play is to go for a Brave Bird into the Volcarona. The thing is, they could get a double protect, and if they get a double protect, I do lose the game. So I think my best play is to go for the Brave Bird and a Shed Tail, because if I don't get a position where I can like safely go for like one strong hit in the Volcarona, if like they go for a Hyper Voice here, I'm in a really bad spot. Actually, they're gonna go for Hyper Voice. I'd lose. I'd have to hope that Orthworm can survive the Hyper Voice, which maybe it can. So I think I still go for Shed Tail anyway. They didn't go for the double. I'm very shocked they didn't go for the double, actually. But I guess they're like, okay, if I lose Ursaluna, they don't know what I have in the back. And if they might have needed Ursaluna for the firepower. So I guess that makes sense in a way. Let's see about this Hyper Voice, though. I'm kind of curious if Orthworm would have been able to get its berry back. I think we would have, right? If they got the double protect, Dodrio goes down on this turn to the Hyper Voice. I imagine it does. We took recoil there, so maybe we would have tanked it. I don't know after Sand we would have. We did heal enough. Okay, so perfect. So we would have been able to get the Shed Tail off. And that Shed Tail would have been massive because we get into Torterra. And because we get into Torterra, we can then Earthquake the Volcarona and hopefully be able to win. Because the ifs were very, very maybe-ish. We get to bring in Torterra, and now we seal up the game here. Actually, the game's not over. The game is not over. You know why the game's not over? Because it depends on the Torterra. It depends on the Ursaluna. And do you crit Hyper Voice into Torterra? Which I don't know if it even knocks out. I'm just going to Body Press and I'm just going to go for Shell Smash. The reason I go for Shell Smash here is because if I Earthquake, I don't know if Orthworm lives the Hyper Voice afterward. If I Shell Smash, I get the White Herb, so I'm not too scared of like the defense drop if Torterra's faster. I'm more worried about like if Ursaluna is able to go for a... Like if I Wood Hammer, I take the recoil, then Hyper Voice crit knocks me out. So I'm pretty sure like I'm always safe here regardless. I don't think Hyper Voice crit knocks me out. Let's see. Like the damage didn't seem like massive to the Orthworm earlier. And we know it's not Life Orb because Volcarona was Life Orb. So I don't think it can knock out Torterra. Let's see if I'm right. Hyper Voice. That would do like 104. Yeah, no way KO Torterra. No way KO Torterra at that range. Okay, beautiful. Sand subsides, and now we have the game locked because we can go for Wood Hammer. Because Hyper Voice is a sound move or bypass the substitute, but that means I'm not like substitute still up. So like if it's Vacuum Wave, I'm not worried about Vacuum Wave cleaning me up. So we are able to KO the Ursaluna. What a wild game this has been. What a wild game this has been, for sure. For sure. No, Whimsicott really helped me out. The fact they didn't bring speed control was incredible for me because didn't have to worry about Tailwind suffering through Volcarona. That was probably the most fearful part about this game, was navigating Tailwind through Volcarona. Without Tailwind, the Volcarona was way more doable because I had the Dodrio that outsped, which actually was clutch in the fact I was able to knock out the Volcarona with Dodrio. And I also had Terra Flying Tyranitar that they had to respect. They had to go for that final Gamma play, which was incredible for me because I was able to bring in Dodrio. Go for the Brave Bird afterward. I got a read right, and they didn't go for a double attack. Granted, could I still won? Yes, especially with Shell Smash. Absolutely. But man, did I not want to rely on it. Rillaboom, Dondozo, Electabuzz, King Gambit with Sneasler and Volcarona. You know what's crazy? Dodrio is actually incredible here. There's 3 flying weeks on my opponent's team and 2 ground weeks. Okay, let's see what we can cook. So in this matchup, I want to say I'm bringing Orthworm. Orthworm is actually pretty good against this team. Torterra is kind of weird. It's nice. It's not necessary, but it's nice. Do I need Tyranitar? Tyranitar is good against Volcarona. It's good against King Gambit for some of the part. It really depends. And Dondozo, it's strange against. I think I'm bringing Dodrio, Orthworm, and the Torterra. I guess the question is, what do I want as final? Do I want my own Volcarona or do I want Tyranitar? I am a bit scared of their own. If I bring these combinations, I am weak to Sneasler. Like, close combat's really scary. So I think I should probably bring Volcarona just to check the Sneasler, because I don't have the best Sneasler answers. So I think that's probably those 4 are correct. As much as I would love the Sandstream to break through the Sneasler's Focus Sash, that would be really nice. And a low kick. Again, any answer to King Gambit is always like appreciated. But I do have Orthworm, which is a pretty big one. That's going to be broad. I also have ground coverage I am bringing, so it's not like awful. And Volcarona is not a bad answer to Sneasler. We're going to see Volcarona plus the Sneasler versus Dodrio plus the Orthworm. Hey, I would have liked Tyranitar. I would have liked Tyranitar, but I think this is probably okay. You got the Tera Water. Alright, I am going to go for a... I should always just fake out Dodrio and Quiver Dance realistically. Like, I can't see a reason why they wouldn't do that. So I'm just going to Shed Tail with my slot and just protect this. We see a Tera immediately. Oh, they had other plans. They had other plans. A Tera Dragon. Does that help me or hurt me? That actually helps me because I have my own Volcarona with Tera Fairy. Okay. What's this fake out going into? Oh, interesting plan here. Okay, I understand it. They go for the coaching here because they want to boost up their Volcarona here and get a Quiver Dance. So now they have the defense boost to cover for like a Brave Bird, and they didn't want to risk like this being some random Covert Cloak set. That's interesting. That's an interesting play. Okay, Shed Tail. And we can bring out... I want to bring out Torterra, or do I want to bring out my... Man, I wish I had Tyranitar in the back. Tyranitar would make this so much easier. I guess I just bring out my own Volcarona, right? Yeah, I think I just bring out my own Volcarona. Should be pretty safe for the most part. And we have it behind that substitute, which is great. I'm going to go for a drill run into the Sneasler, and I get... Actually, do I want to drill... The problem with Sneasler is it's so painful to deal with. I guess I should get damage into Volcarona. Yeah, I should get damage into Volcarona. I'm going to go for Brave Bird into Volcarona. I don't expect Dodrio to live the turn, and I'm going to go for Quiver Dance. They probably go for, like, what, Dire Claw, Heat Wave? Or they swap out, which is perfectly acceptable, too. Electabuzz? Electabuzz, that makes sense. Volcarona Protective would be nice, but they're probably just going to go for Heat Wave. Yep, Heat Wave going to come out. Dodrio actually survives. I don't think this is that bad of a turn here, because I am going to be able to get a Quiver Dance up with Volcarona, a Brave Bird into the Volcarona on their side. Okay. And Quiver Dance. I think I want to go Torterra first, because I threaten the Electabuzz, or theoretically threaten. I think I'm just going to get a Protect with my or Torterra and just Quiver Dance up again. Electro doesn't stop me. Taunt is the only move that they could really go for that affects the Volcarona in this position. I would like to see if they decide how they're reacting to the Torterra, because like Orthworm wasn't like putting on any offensive pressure, so I don't think it was ever worth like bringing here. They actually go on the okay. They don't redirect with the Electabuzz, which is interesting. River dances are matched. Oh, if I had like head smash or shell smash, that would have been great there. They go for taunt. Interesting. Okay. Does that really matter? I mean, I think I sack Orthworm here and I get a Quiver Dance, or I Heat Wave or Terra Blast. I think I just Heat Wave, because I don't really need Orthworm to win the game. It's nice, but it's not necessary. Heat Wave is threatening a lot. I'm probably tearing my Volcarona in the end game anyway. Wow, they are just not protecting at all. I do get a really strong Heat Wave off against their team. We are going to see Citrus Berry on the Volcarona. Okay, so that heals them. They go for Giga Drain. I guess they're expecting the Terra. Okay, that's good to know. They also don't have Terra Blast, so Volcarona doesn't tear. That's nice. They go for Thunderbolt. All right. Interesting. I can't get parried thanks to Cover Cloak. Nice. Gonna go for Protect, and I guess I'm just gonna regular Terra Blast to Volcarona. This realistically should be like what? Quiver Dance again. Maybe they go for a, I think Electabuzz protects. If they follow me, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, they go for Protect again, which is what I thought. So I want to go for a Terra Blast into the Volcarona, which is nice. We do go for Protect with the Orthworm. Like, I get more damage in the Volcarona, which is always appreciated. Yeah, like that's still nice. You go for the Heat Wave. This endgame is gonna be so strange. All right, we're gonna go for a Body Press and a Heat Wave. Not really much we can do. What I guess is nice about the situation is I could definitely see if they're gonna go for Heat Wave again, and most likely they are, right? I guess they can protect in this situation. As long as I hit the Heat Wave into, I think I do need to hit both of them, but especially the Electabuzz, I'm in a good spot. Yeah, this is actually really nice. I am able to KO the Electabuzz, so Electabuzz goes down. Fantastic. They go for a Heat Wave themselves. We dodge actually one. Volcarona dodging is actually very nice there, so Orthworm will go down. I mean, I appreciate that. Like, I do appreciate that. Because the taunt wears off here. Like, I was fine if Heat Wave did connect, because I don't think I would have been fake out range from Sneasler, and I would have been able to go for Terra Blast because I have Cover Cloak and don't have to worry about like a fake out from their own Sneasler. But no, that does help out. We are going to see the final Pokemon. Is that Dondozo? It's Dondozo. All right. Does Wave Crash KO? So I could go for Terra Blast now. But they could Yawn here. I could see Yawn Protect. I think my play is always the Wood Hammer. The slot and always go for Terra Blast. Yeah. Because I don't know if you protect Volcarona this turn or the next turn. If you protect Volcarona, I could see a desperate attempt at Wave Crash, because I think he might not go for the Yawn. I'm going to go for the Terra, because I can go for Terra Blast knockdown to Volcarona now. And if I can KO the Volcarona, that's absolutely huge. Yeah, beautiful. So I get rid of the Volcarona, which means Torterra safe, and I get a free Wood Hammer off into Dondozo, which is really big. So goodbye there. Volcarona, awesome. So able to get rid of that. Let's see what the response is. Wood Hammer going to come out into Dondozo. We're going to get a good amount of damage. Wow, that was more than I expected, actually. That was more than I expected. It's in Earthquake range, which I did not anticipate. Oh, they went for Wave Crash. Beautiful. Oh, I did not survive that. I thought I was living that, man. I thought I was living that. Okay, Dondozo goes down. No, I thought I was living that. I thought I was living the Wave Crash. Because I know Wave Crash is strong from Dondozo, but I was like, you know, the Volcarona has some bulk. Not the most defense though in the world, I guess. Only way I win is if Sneasler for some reason isn't Sash on this team, right? They already Terra Dragons, but it should be Focus Sash on coaching Sneasler, so there's no way I can win this game, I think. Again, only reason is if the Sneasler for some reason isn't Focus Sash on this team. I don't know what would be Focus Sash on this team if it isn't Sneasler. If it's like wider, there's a shot. But yeah. I guess I could have Heat Wave too. If I'm wait, why are they protecting? Wait, Protect is such a big throw too. Oh my god. Protect is such a throw too. I'm Earthquaking. Fire Claw. There's no way you're not Focus Sash. What? Why are you not Focus Sash Sneasler? Why are you not Focus Sash Sneasler? Why'd you go for Dire Claw? Close combat stronger. I guess they didn't know the calc, but what is going on here? Like, close combat always wins that game. Granted, I guess they didn't know the calc. Torterra does have good physical defense, fair. But you're not Focus Sash on that, dude. That's like why I was so scared of like this end game, because I'm like, oh, Sash Sneasler's gonna sweep me. And the reason why Protect is a throw, if it was Focus Sash, by the way, is because I Shell Smash. Then I go for the Earth. Then I go for like Wood Hammer. Hope I'm able to tank one move, and then I can go for Earthquake. But one, I took the Dire Claw way worse than I thought. B, because I thought like Dire Claw I would have lived on like yellow, like maybe like 30. And then close combat, like maybe I'd barely live at like 2 or 3, but what the heck was that? Grimmsnarl, Golden Go, Dragon Knight, Kilowattrel with Annihilate and Blood Moon Ursaluna. Okay. What do I want to go here? Because they do have screens, most likely. They have Tailwind, I'd assume, on this team as well. There's a lot of tricky stuff that I have to maneuver. Tyranitar's really good in this matchup. For sure, especially against Focus Sash mons. Like, it could be Focus Sash on the Kilowattrel or Focus Sash on the Annihilate. So having the Tyranitar with the Sand is pretty nice. Orthworm's actually pretty good against this team because they can't do much to Orthworm. It probably is bulk up Ape on this team. I feel like I might have actually played against this team before, but let's go with Volcarona. Is not bad against their team. I'd probably say they're going to leave Golden Go behind because it's really... Well, maybe they can't because they can't really hit Orthworm without the Golden Go. So this is a bit weird. I think I'm going to bring Dodrio plus Orthworm. I'm going to bring Tyranitar plus Torterra in the back. I'm trying to think about this because Volcarona is actually pretty good against this team too, but I'm worried about the Ape and what Tera it is. And I feel like the Tera is probably better into Volcarona than anything. So that's why I do want to... I'm hesitating bringing Volcarona. Also, the thing is, the Dragonite also can be scary for my Volcarona because of Haze. And I think Haze is definitely going to impact Volcarona more in this match. But we'll see. Dragonite's actually kind of a tough mon, so I would like to try to get rid of it as quick as possible. But I have no idea. Like, I can't remember the sets if I have played this team. And I feel like I have. Like, I'm getting deja vu that I played this team against this team before. But I have no idea what the sets are. We're going to see the... Golden Go and Dragonite, okay. Versus Dodrio and Orthworm. I mean, this isn't too bad of a lead. Because Drill Run actually does do some pretty good damage if they do want to set up here. So I'm actually going to go for Drill Run into the Golden Go. And I'm going to go for a Shed Tail immediately. Yeah, I don't see a reason really not to. This is Trick on the Golden Go. It's really annoying. But otherwise, I should be able to get a pretty strong Drill Run in a Golden Go immediately. Which is actually pretty nice. And then a Shed Tail and a Tyranitar break that stirred, or not sturdy, multi-scale on Dragonite would be really good. And threaten the Golden Go for some chip. Especially with Drill Run, probably not KOing Golden Go, but probably puts in Rock Slide range, which would be super ideal. Maybe I'm overestimating the Dodrio, but we'll find out. Would like to keep my Orthworm around too, so having the Shed Tails available. I could also go into Torterra, but that's fine. Oh, it's okay. So that's interesting. Shadow Ball into Orthworm immediately. So it is a Scarf variant. All right. Drill Run into Golden Go. Does some pretty good damage. Low kick into Orthworm. Oh, that picks up the knockout. Okay. Oh, the fact it's low kick actually makes this weird. I guess I can go Tyranitar and play a mind game, but yeah, that is not ideal. That is not ideal. Bring out the Tyranitar. Oh, why are you low kick? Okay, so it's Scarf Golden Go. All right. Gonna protect a Dodrio, and I'm gonna go for a Rock Slide into my opponent's team, I think. Yeah, I think Golden Go probably retreats into Whimsicott if I'm not mistaken, but I don't really feel like I can play too aggressive here. We're gonna see. Oh, Grimmsnarl comes out, which is an interesting bring. Okay. Huh. Interesting to see the Grimmsnarl here. I will go for the Terra Flying. This is gonna make it so I don't take the low kick as badly as before, but we'll see what my opponent decides to do afterward. Game Rock Slide damage on Grim is nice though. All right, Dodrio will protect. Let's see, what did the Dragonite click? Scale Shot into Dodrio. Okay, nice. Okay, that's pretty good, as I do get a free Rock Slide off, and I do connect with both, which is great. Good damage into... solid damage into both, actually. Trying to think about how this endgame works. Torterra is going to be really important, I think, for this endgame. I'm going to go for Brave Bird, and I'm going to go for Rock Slide. Hopefully, Brave Bird can actually do some really good damage into the Dragonite, which is what I'm hoping for here. So I'm going to go for Brave Bird, and I'm going to go for Rock Slide. If they go for Thunder Wave, that's really not great, but Dragonite will go down at least. If they go for Reflect, I should be taking the knockout on the Dragonite, which is nice. They go for Protect with the Dragonite. Okay. To set up a Reflect. Okay, that works out too, because that means that the Dragonite's still vulnerable the next turn to a Brave Bird plus Rock Slide. And I'm kind of curious who they target. Do they target Dodrio or do they target Tyranitar? Because I could target down the... I could go for Protect the next turn. I'm kind of curious on who they're going to aim for. Okay. Might be trying to get rid of the Grim angle. I think I'll go for the KO into the Grim with Brave Bird, because then it's a single target Rock Slide, and if they Scale Shot on a Dodrio, then the Dragonite goes down, which I think is pretty ideal. So I'm going to go for it. They go for Extreme Speed into Tyranitar instead. Wait, that's big for me. And a Parting Shot. Wait, if they bring out Annihilate, they're going to go down to the Brave Bird plus the Rock Slide, I imagine. So this is pretty big, because I was expecting Extreme Speed and Parting Shot out of the combination, but this works out really well for me. If they go gold, the gold should go down to Brave Bird plus Rock Slide here. And if it's Ursaluna, you're taking a lot of damage, so I will gladly take this. So here's a Brave Bird into Ursaluna. Pretty big chunk of damage. Rock Slide into the Dragonite and the Ursaluna. Still some pretty solid damage across the board. All right. I mean, this is still kind of weird. That's acceptable. Oh, it's leftovers on the Ursaluna on this build. Okay. It changes things. It does change things. I still think I probably lose in this end game. If it was like we caught an Annihilate on the Switch, it would have been incredible. But because it's Ursaluna, there's a reason why it makes sense they target the goal or the Orthworm immediately. Do you want to go for Brave Bird? Because I could go for like a low kick here or a Rock Slide. I think I'd probably go for a Rock Slide plus Protect here. The problem is we're probably taking a Blood Moon here or Extreme Speed Hyper Voice. Both are pretty bad. Oh, Ursaluna Protects is incredible for me. Wait, that's really good for me. Oh, they went for Extreme Speed into Tyranitar. So they're going for the Make It Rain cleanup into Tyranitar. Oh, that's ugly then. That's ugly. I think they might have got me there. Because we do KO the Dragonite, which is huge. which we did need to get rid of because Extreme Speed was threatening the Dodrio. But I think if I needed a chance, was there anything I could really do here though? I don't think there was. Because even if I Sword Stance with Dodrio and let's say Rock Slide, it didn't help here. Because this is the Golden Go coming back in for Make It Rain. Maybe there's a chance. I go for the Brave Bird. I go for the low kick into the Ursaluna. If Tyranitar lives, a Scarf Make It Rain at this range. I just don't think it's likely. And if they Tera Steel, it's definitely not possible. You go for Make It Rain. Do we outspeed Ursaluna? Because if we outspeed Ursaluna, there might be a chance actually. Hold up. Hold up. Do we outspeed? We do get the low kick off. That's actually really important damage. That's a lot less than I was hoping for though. They did use their Blood Moon immediately. Okay. There might be a world we could win. Might be is a very big question mark, but it's possible. I need Torterra to come in clutch. Sandstorm subsides. Leftovers is going to heal them. I realistically think we lose the game, but you know what? There might be a world. Torterra going to come in. We go for a Shell Smash here. Because we hope for a mess up. We hope like gold switches out, for instance. Oh, this might be Yawn. Grimstall comes in. It's a Tera, so I think I do lose. What Tera are you? I could have Earthquaked. I could have Earthquaked. I don't know if Earthquake knocks out the Ursaluna. Probably not, I'd assume. I think it was going to hang on barely. But if this is anything other than Yawn, I can win this game. Please don't Yawn. It realistically should be Yawn. Like it should always be Yawn. Yeah. Because I was like, okay, maybe Ursaluna protects because they're fearing like... Because the Ursalunas I remember carrying Yawn were like all Terra Water. If this was like Terra Water Ursaluna, I could have went for it. They were probably like covering for the like the grass type move that I could have went for. And if I went for it like anything else. What's my out here? Okay, I think my out is actually to go for Protect with Torterra. The reason I'm going to protect with Torterra, because they're always going to protect Ursaluna. The thing is, if I Earthquake knock out the Grim just... Okay, no, they're playing it right. Okay, they Spirit Break here. Okay, yeah, I think we probably lose. Like, my hope here was that they... Like, upcoming turn, I get one turn sleep. Hope they Blood Moon. I survive Blood Moon. And then they go for Parting Shot into Golden Go. Because I would have been able to trap them in. And hopefully wake up one turn and go for Earthquake. So I was hoping for the throw there. My opponent's not throwing, which is smart here. Because they should just like always have let that happen. Wait. It's the same win con. It's the same win con. Torterra, if you survive this upcoming... If you survive the upcoming attack, I can't have a shot. Well, actually, Golden Go should outspeed Torterra, right? Because the Torterra is like 210. No. Unless the gold for some reason is modest max speed. Well, I go for the modest max speed Choice Scarf win con. If they're timid, I just lose, right? Yeah, like if it's timid, I just lose. I mean, you only have one choice. You can only go out in the Golden Go here. Blood Moon, I think, probably knocks me out, but you never know. You never know. Torterra is not exactly the frailest Pokemon ever. For Blood Moon. I mean, we do tank it, so possible. I think, okay, so there is a win con. The question is, do I protect or do I Earthquake? If I protect on the Torterra turn here, does Ursaluna protect? Because I think Actually, no, I should always Earthquake here. Yeah, I should always Earthquake because Reflect will go down the next turn, so they're forced to Reflect again. So Torterra might be able to KO the Ursaluna. I go for Earthquake here, always. Because the next turn, like let's say I wake up and Protect, Reflect is over, then they Protect, get extra leftovers recovery, and then they get an extra turn of recovery on top of that, then I think it's just always better to Earthquake here anyway, regardless, because they're always going to have Reflect up, and then the sequence that I do is just 2 turns of extra. Or they could go for a switch to Grim. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up! If we wake up, we have a huge chance. Please KO. Please KO. Please KO. Oh, just by 1. Okay, but Reflect is gone. They can't choose between Reflect and Parting Shot here. So I always get the Earthquake off. Regardless, I am going to go for Earthquake. Oh, wait. Well, I didn't expect that pivot. Like, if they went for that pivot, I guess if I Shell Smash, I won. So technically, there was a win there. But I was not expecting the hard Grim risk there. Reflect comes out. Torterra needs to KO the Ursaluna with +1 Earthquake. Not enough. Had too much recovery. So I had to Shell Smash to win the game. The thing is, I didn't think they were actually going to... Like, I thought they could Protect because they... Like, if I wake up and go for the Earthquake, they KO Gold, right? I felt like the play is always to make it rain there because I'm always forced to Earthquake. If Gold goes down there, they get the free switch to Grim anyway, and they don't risk as much. While if they went for the hard switch like they did, they risked Grimstone going down to the Earthquake, which means Grim goes down, and then next turn I just win the game because there's no Reflect. Earthquake just clears the board. So, like, I thought they could Protect. I think their best play was just to Protect and attack with Gold and Go. Because, again, if Gold goes down, they get the free switch to Grim and they're healthier. And if they don't, that means, like, they didn't give me an opportunity to win. Because there was not really any opportunity because, like, my Torterra couldn't set up if they actually attacked with Gold. But, oh, the fact that was actually winnable was... that was so close. So close, Torterra. All right, let's go over the games. The start was sloppy in game 1 as I could have easily lost resources quickly, but once my opponent brought in Dondozo, I was able to set up efficiently while threatening the Dondozo to clean up the remaining Pokemon in the back. In game 2, I think the end game could have been tough with the Sneasler, but they did not respect my Tyranitar well enough. I guess going for Earthquake with Torterra and switching out Dodrio on the turn I lost Dodrio turn 2 so I could have had more resources would have been ideal, but was not expecting my Milotic to be offensive on this team, and I really was expecting to develop into the Torterra because I thought they would really have feared a potential Shell Smash. In game 3, luckily my opponent did not bring the Whimsicott, so no Tailwind for my opponent, making it a lot easier. Dodrio was able to outspeed and put on a lot of offensive pressure. With a few right calls, I was able to put together the final pieces of the puzzle for the end game. In game 4, felt this matchup was tough in general, but was able to squeeze by thanks to the Sneasler not being Focus Sash on their team and them not going for close combat onto the Torterra. In game 5, it was not looking great for most of the game, but I had a possibility to come back with Shell Smash Torterra where I would have needed to go for another Shell Smash so I could have gotten the knockouts or rely on a crit from Torterra to knock out the Ursaluna. I still think it was a potential throw for my opponent, so I do think the crit does give me the best odds right there. A knockoff instead of low kick might have helped too, since no leftovers recovery meant Torterra might have been able to beat the Ursaluna since it was able to heal back a lot of HP from the leftovers earlier, but it would have been the cost of less damage straightforward. But I think it would have still been able to maybe put that potential Ursaluna in range of the Earthquake after that knockoff. Overall, I don't know what to say about this team. It's a crazy team in general. It's pretty cool to see. I don't think Dodrio was really the star. I think Torterra was actually pretty the star. I think Orthworm is not a bad Pokemon in the format. Does kind of still struggle a bit against, like, there's Volcarona involved. Torterra is just a really cool mon as it was able to do some pretty decent damage across the board. Dodrio was weird. I don't think it's just a Pokemon that sweeps generally. It's just a Pokemon that gets 1 or 2 strong hits off just because of how the nature is. It's very frail. But it does have really good coverage. The speed is pretty nice. It can just hit hard with a Brave Bird before going down, which basically is what I need to do in most of the games. So I guess it accomplished that role, but team was fun. If you would like to try out this recreation, I will link the rental code on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time this video comes out, but if not, there is a details of the team with the paste bin down below in the description, and of course go check out the original creator as well. But of course subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.